It's baseball season, so we have bats and balls, and we have gloves and mitts, and in the Middle East you have a Kerrycrit. Instead of a hypocrite, you have a Kerrycrit. Kerry was recorded as being worried about the 500 people who died in Gaza. That's a lot of people, most of whom were shooting missiles at millions of other people. They deserve to die. But let's just look at numbers, sheer numbers. The Syrian rebellion has cost over 150,000 lives, with several million people displaced from their homes. ISIS has killed thousands of people in northern Iraq, butchered them. Not a word of compassion, not a word of let's get in there, let's do something about it, from Kerrycrit. We Jews should call for his resignation. He's an abomination, not just because he's Obama's Secretary of State, but he has violated the tenets of diplomacy by showing that he prefers dictators and killers to legitimate democratically elected officials and people who care about human life. If he truly cared about life and death of people, he'd be down in Syria. He'd be pounding his fist on the table. He'd be demanding that the United States military should fly sorties over ISIS. Do you know that there are millions of people who live in northwestern Iraq and in eastern Turkey who number in the millions of people and have been abused for hundreds of years, and they still don't have a country of their own? Why is there no call for the liberation of Kurdistan? Why is it that there's only a call for Jewish people to remove themselves so that Arabs can shoot more missiles at them? Doesn't make any sense, does it, to you? Not to me. But this we have already foretold in this week's Torah Portion. Torah Portion says, Vayishma Haknani Melech Arod, Kigova Aaron. The king of Arad, who's really an Amalekite, who clothed himself, at least he took the language of the Canaanites, heard that Aaron died. How did he hear that Aaron died? Because the Iron Dome, the cloud of glory that had protected the people of Israel, suddenly had some holes in it. And as soon as the Amalekites perceived that the Iron Dome can be penetrated, they attacked. As soon as Hamas saw that they could, with impunity, kill 3 Jewish boys, and the world says nothing, that's what triggered their attacks with rockets. Make no mistake about it, this has already happened. But in this week's Torah Portion, in today's Torah Portion, God tells us what we're supposed to do about the Canaanite king of Arad. God says, when you are worried about establishing a Jewish state, you can't worry about what people will think of you, whether you're a nice guy or not. Those that are your enemies, you must get rid of. That's what God says. And if you don't, you won't inherit the land. In fact, before you get there, I'm going to flood you with the river of the Jordan, rather than have you do something that's going to destroy you militarily and bring a chilul Hashem, a desecration of God's name. So the Torah tells us what we're about facing when people feel that the dome, the iron dome of protection that surround the people of Israel, and there is one, make no mistake about it. Thousands of missiles have been projected at Jewish yishuv, Jewish settlement. One stray mortar killed an Israelite. No more. The 24 casualties or 23 casualties that they just recently had was because Israel went in to Gaza with troops and with troop carriers. But the rockets haven't killed anyone. They say, well, that's because they're amateurs. Baloney. Saddam Hussein threw a scud, a single scud, at Saudi Arabia. You know what happened? 235 Americans were killed. With one scud that has no real tracking system. A Scud missile is dangerous. Just ask the American military. These missiles are dangerous. Do you know why they have no effect? It's not because of the rockets of Iron Dome. It's because Israel has an Iron Dome. It's called the God of Israel. And when the people of Israel are unified, there is no penetration. The reason why there was penetration is because we're not unified. And I'll reiterate this again. The policies or the pursuit of young yeshiva boys weakens not just the resolve, but the defense of the country. And that's why they felt emboldened. That's got nothing to do with what we have to do about it. Once the Knani Melech Arad, once the Amalekite king has attacked, our job is to dismantle his army completely. No ceasefire. No humanitarian cessation of arms until the job is done. That's the message. And I hope that that's what comes true. In the meantime, let's call for the removal of Kerrypocrite, the Secretary of State.